So first of all, let us have a look at the balance sheet over here. Let me tell you about the balance sheet. First of all, on the left hand side, we are having the liabilities, and on the right hand side, we are provided with the assets. Okay. So if we are on the in a balance sheet, we are having two sides. Okay. One, it is a liability side, that is on the left hand side, and on the right hand side, we are having the assets over here. Okay. Now liabilities are those which are to be paid off by the business entity itself, which are to be paid off by the business entity itself, whether it is a capital, that is the owned funds, or it is related to reserves, or it is a surplus. So those are basically related to the components of net worth. Those are related to the components of net worth. Other than that, the other liabilities are there, may be long-term liabilities. Long-term liabilities, it may be related to the debt instruments, that is bonds or debentures may be there. It may be related to the bank loans over there for the long term period. And further, there are short term liabilities which are said to be current liabilities. And what are those liabilities? These liabilities comprising of the bills payable. So whatsoever the bills payable, that let us take the case that if a amount is payable to some trader itself, from which we have basically have taken a credit, that is to be repaid, and it may be the case that the rent is to be paid, to be repaid. So these liabilities are related to those liabilities which are to be paid off in coming 12 months. Okay. So the bifurcation of the liabilities goes as capital, then long-term liabilities, and further the short-term liabilities. And the liabilities are basically the sources of funds. We have already gone through the fact that the liabilities are what? Liabilities are the sources of funds. Okay. Whereas the assets are the uses of funds. So assets basically shows us the area where we have used of funds. So these are uses of funds. Okay. Likewise, we are having the fixed assets, plant, machinery, building, all these are fixed assets. And further, the other category is non-current assets. Non-current assets are those assets which are not of a fixed assets, and further which are basically also not current assets. Okay, like if we have invested monies into the non-quoted shares, the shares which are not quoted in the stock exchange. Okay, if these are shares are non-quoted shares, or the shares which are not liquidable in the coming 12 months, in that case, those are not our fixed assets, and also it is not related to current assets, because in current assets we will be covering only those assets which do change their form from one asset to from one form to another, or further which are basically which can basically be consumed in next 12 months. Okay, so those are covered under the current assets, like our stocks, inventory, cash in hand, bank balance, all are covered under the current assets. Then there is another category that is related to intangible assets. So whatsoever the assets are over there related to the preliminary expenses, pre-operative expenses, those are covered under the intangible asset category. Okay, so that is related to what? That is related to the different components of the assets and liabilities in the balance sheet. But when we look at the balance sheet of a bank, it is quite different. It is quite different because we have already discussed it actually. When a bank lends money, to someone, it is basically what? It's a asset for the bank. So let us consider the bank ABC over here, which is going to lend money to person B over here, Now, whatsoever the amount is being lent to person B over here, person B is having the liability so as to repay it back with interest on it. So liability, so asset, this would be an asset. And also banks are receiving the funds. From the public. The banks are receiving the funds from the public. So that is basically related to what? Those are the liabilities. Okay. So for bank, the criteria is somewhat different, but we will be understanding it with the basics itself. So let us go through the theory first of all now, so as to understand the basics. So it is related to the components of assets and liabilities. Bank's balance sheet comprises of the sources and the uses of funds. Whenever I say sources of funds, it means we are talking about the liabilities. And whenever we say if it related to the uses of funds, we are talking about what? We are talking about the assets over the funds. Okay. Liabilities and net worth form the sources of the funds. Liabilities, that is the long-term liabilities, and the short-term liabilities plus the net worth, those basically form the sources of funds, whereas the assets represents the uses of the funds, so as to generate the revenue for the bank. So why capital and reserves are liability? Because whatsoever the capital has been basically Basically the capital which has been over there given by the owners, that is to be returned by the entity one day. As per the business entity concept, business is different from that of the entity. So whatsoever the amount has been paid by the owner, that is to be returned back to the owner one day. Okay, so if you are investor, if you are shareholder of a company, it means what? It means the company owes a liability to you. Okay, so that is why the capital and reserves are under what? Under the liabilities over here. Okay, then we have otherwise we have already gone through it. So whatsoever the deposits banks are having, whatsoever the borrowings the banks have taken, it may be related to the Reserve Bank of India borrowings, it may be related to the borrowings from the interbank market. Okay, other than that, there are other liabilities and provisions. There are other liabilities or provisions. It may be the case that it is a accrued interest which is to be paid on the deposits. It may be the case related to the provisions that you have created so far, so as for the payments of your liabilities, or it may be the case related to the contingent liabilities. But the contingent liabilities are not shown in the balance sheet itself. It is shown as footnotes. It is basically shown as a footnote, and it is shown separately in the over there in the different schedule over there. Okay, and if we consider the assets, the main assets that we can consider, it is related to cash in hand and balances with the Reserve Bank of India. It may be the case that the bank is having the balances with the other banks, or money at call short notice market. Okay, in the money market itself. It may be related to investments that have been made into the securities market, that have been made into the capital market, or it may be the case that the money has been lent to the persons over there, that is also related to advances. That is also what? That is also your asset. And further, there can be the fixed assets also, like bank, like land, building, furniture, fixture, and other assets over there. These all will be basically the asset, forming the assets of the bank. Now let us have a look at the different components of the liabilities. Okay, so first of all, it is related to capital. Represents what? Capital represents the owner's stake in the company. Here we are considering the company to be a bank. Okay, so we can say like that let us take the case that the ABC Bank is over here, and ABC Bank has issued the shares. It has issued the shares in the public. So there will be, let us take the case that there are 10 lakh shareholders. There are 10 lakh shareholders. Now these 10 lakh shareholders are basically the owners of the company. These are the owners of the company, and there is a liability in the company so as to repay the amount back to the owners one day. Okay, when the company will be liquidated, or when the company will be basically going through the process of the legal death, in that case the money which is invested by the shareholders into the company, that is to be repaid back by the company itself. Okay, that is related to it, and it serves as a cushion for the depositor. So whatsoever the capital is there, whatsoever the surpluses and reserves are there, so that is basically related to what? That is related to a cushion for the depositors, because the depositors are whom? The depositors are basically they have deposited their money with the bank, and further there is a liability on the bank. There is an obligation with the bank that the bank is to return that money back to the depositors. Okay, so bank is basically working as an intermediary. Accepting the deposits in one hand and lending on the other hand. And further, if there is any demand raised by the depositor, so as for the permanent purposes, the bank is to repay it back. The bank cannot default over here. The bank cannot default in any way, because otherwise it will be not be the viable position of the bank so as to sustain its operations. Is that clear? Okay, so it is considered to be a long-term source of funds. So when we talk about the capital is basically related to what? It is a long-term source of funds. We have already covered that factor in the case of the previous lectures too, that the working capital requirement is with the companies itself. Now what is working capital? Working capital is a capital that is required by the company so as for to meet up the day-to-day expenses of the company. So as to meet up with the day-to-day expenses, like it may be related to the rental expenses, it may be related to the electricity expenses, or maybe wages or salaries. Okay, so those are basically day-to-day expenses which are to be met up. Okay, and for that purpose we require what? We do require the working capital. Now the working capital sources can either be met up from the surplus of the assets over the liabilities. If you're having the current assets excess than that of the current liabilities, that would be part from where you can meet up with your current liabilities. And further also the working capital requirements are fulfilled from the long-term capital asset. That is why basically I'm considering this fact over here. Is that clear? So minimum capital requirement for the domestic and foreign banks is prescribed by the Reserve Bank of India. So that is related to capital. So capital is basically related to what? It is a long-term source of funds. It is long-term source of funds. Is that clear? After that, it is reserves and surplus. It is reserves and surplus. So the components under this item includes statutory reserves. So whatsoever the statutory reserves are there, like CRR and SLR to be maintained, so those are also related to what? Those are also the reserves which are maintained over there under the different forms. And further, also the capital reserves are there. Also the capital reserves are there, like revaluation reserves are there, and further share premium is there. Now what is share premium? What is share premium? Let us take the case that a company issued a share which is having a face value of rupees 100, which is issued at a face value of rupees 100, and now the market price of the share is rupees 153. The market price of the share is 153. Now in that particular case, the 100 rupees amount out of rupees 153 will be forming the part of the paid up capital. It will be forming the part of the paid up capital, and the surplus amount of rupees 53 over and above the face value of the share, that will be forming the part of the share premium. That will be forming the part of the share premium. Is that clear? So those are also under what? Those are also under the surpluses over there. And other than that, the revenue and the other reserves in the balances in the profit and loss account also forms the surpluses. These also forms the surpluses. Is that clear? So this is related to what? This is related to the reserves and surplus. This is related to reserves and surplus. The next, it is related to deposit. So whatsoever the amount which has been deposited by the depositors, whether it is demand deposit, current accounts, or saving fund deposits, or it is related to the term deposit, those are basically related to what? Those are related to the deposits over here, which is a liability. And further, it is related to borrowings. So whatsoever the amount which has been borrowed by the banks, it may be the case that the banks have taken a loan from the Reserve Bank of India, or it may be the case it is related to interbank liability which is to be paid off. Okay, so all those are basically covered under the borrowings. And then it is related to other liabilities and provisions. Other liabilities and provisions basically related to what? Those bills which are payable by bank. Those bills which are payable by bank. It may be the case that the drafts are there, telegraphic transfers are there, or traveler checks are there, for which the bank has charged the commission. So it is a case actually related to the banker check. So if a banker check is issued, it is also what? It is also a liability on the bank now. It is also a liability on the bank, because the money amount has already been debited to the account of the depositor. Let us take the case that the person A over here visited the branch ABC over here so as to issue a banker check amounting rupees 50,000. So how it would be done? The bank ABC over here will be debiting rupees 50,000 from the account of person A, and further will be crediting their banker account and will be issuing a check. So the amount so issued now in this way, it's a liability on the bank itself. It's a liability on the bank itself because it is to be paid. It is to be paid. And also the pay slips, the banker's checks, and miscellaneous items all are covered under what? These are the other liabilities. And further, it may be related to the inter-office adjustments. It may be related to the inter-office adjustments. So whensoever the transfer pricing is there, so we will be considering a fact related to two branches over here. Let us take a case where branch A over here is having the surplus of the deposits. It is having surplus of the deposits amounting rupees 250 crore, and further its lending part, its credit part is only and only comprising of 10 crore rupees. So its credit portfolio is 10 crore rupees, whereas its deposits are amounting rupees 250 crore. Is that clear? And further, bank B over here, branch B over here is having surplus of credit, that is 40 crore rupees, and further the deposits are amounting rupees 10 crore only. Deposits are amounting rupees 10 crore only. Now from where did this surplus of 30 crore rupees come from? From where did this surplus of 30 crore rupees come from? Now there is a transfer pricing between these two. Between these two because these are working departmentally. The branches are working departmentally so as to ascertain the profitability of the branches. So there will be outflow of the deposits from branch A, which is having the surplus of the deposits, to branch B over here at arm's length price. So arm's length price is that price at which it will be basically providing deposits to any other free player in the market itself. Okay, so it will be basically charging that much interest rate, and further that would be an extra income on the branch A itself. So in the books of branch B, it will be a liability. So whatsoever the net amount which is to be paid by the branch B to branch A, because it has taken the 30 crore of the deposits from the branch A over here, so that would be a liability for the branch B over here. Is that clear? That is related to inter-office adjustments. Then it is a interest accrued. So the interest accrued but not due on deposit, that is not due in deposit, but it has been accrued on the borrowings it may be, or in the deposits it may be. So that is related to interest accrued. And the other forms are, it is related to liabilities provision for income tax, it may be related to tax deducted at source or interest tax provisions. So all those are forming the part of other liabilities and provisions. Is that clear? Then it is related to the components of the assets. So now let us first of all have a look at the components of the assets. So whatsoever the cash balances the banks are having, so whatsoever the cash in hand is there, that's an asset. And other than that, if you are having balances with the Reserve Bank of India, if you are having any of the balances with the Reserve Bank of India, that is also a asset, that is also a asset. Okay, and other than that, cash in hand we have already covered. Other than bank reserve, the balances with the Reserve Bank of India, so cash account also includes the balances held by each bank with Reserve Bank of India in order to meet the statutory cash reserve requirements. So as to meet the statutory cash reserve requirement, so that will be the balances in balances with the Reserve Bank of India. Other than that, it is related to the investments. So whatsoever the investments have been made by the bank, whether it is related to the government securities, approved securities, the shares, the debentures, bonds, subsidiaries, those all will be forming the part of the investments. Those all will be forming the part of the investments. And whatsoever the amounts have been advanced by the banks, those are also the assets. Those are also the assets, whether those are fund based assets, whether those are non-fund based assets. If it is related to non-fund based assets, it basically related to what? It is related to a contingent liability. Now there is a contingent liability, it's an asset but it's a contingent liability. Okay, so whatsoever the fund based assets like cash credit, overdraft, loan repayable on demand, those will be covered over here. Those will be covered over here. Okay, and further it is related to secured and not secured advanced are also mentioned in the balance sheet. Other than that, it is a case related to the fixed assets. So let me clear you one point over here in the case of the advances, that the contingent liabilities, that is related to the letter of credits, bank guarantees or the other, those will not be basically indicated under the advances section over here. Those will not be indicated under the advances section over here, and further those will be mentioned separately. Those will be mentioned separately. Okay, then it is related to the fixed assets. So whatsoever the fixed assets, these may be comprising of the immovable properties, premises, furnitures and fixtures, hardware, motor vehicles are etc. classified into the fixed assets. These are classified into the fixed assets. And other assets may be, it may be related to the inter-office adjustments. So in other assets, we basically considered this inter-office adjustments in liability side also. So for the branch B, it was a liability, but for branch A, it's an asset over here. Okay, and further interest accrued. So whatsoever the interest accrued, which you are to get on the advances, which is not yet paid, which is not yet due, but it is basically accrued on the advances. That will be basically related to what? That will be related to interest accrued. And further, it is tax paid in advance. If you have paid the tax in advance or tax deducted at source has been basically paid in advance, that will also be your asset for you. Then it is related to stationery and stamps. It may be the case that you are having the stamps in hand, that is also your asset. And others, it will be comprising of the form of clearing items, unadjusted debit balances representing addition to the assets etc. Those all will be covered. So that is related to the different components of the assets and liabilities.